Hey kids, welcome to Unit 2, Lesson 10, Printing Objects, Exercise number 7. Just like the last couple of lessons, we're going to go ahead and do Exercise 6 and 7 all in one. We've been doing the pie class. Let's jump in and finish this off. We are going to write a toString method in the pie class and dessert. It returns a string containing the values assigned to its instance variables. Don't forget to include the superclass toString in our subclass. This isn't too bad. toString is actually a very helpful method that is built into Java. We've talked about the object class a couple of times. It's like the super class that gives the rest of the classes their structure. Within the object class, we have a toString method. And toString will print off the location of our object. You've probably seen this if you've ever tried to print off the object and you got the class at some wacky numbers. That means it's referencing a location in memory. That means on your hard drive, there's a physical space with that address that has that information. But honestly, we're not going to break out the microscope and go look at ones and zeros and try to figure that out. We want something a little more useful. What we can do is override our toString method to return something that we can understand a little better. And what overriding is just defining a method in a subclass with the same method signature as the method inherited from a superclass, has the same signature. Well, that's all. Our toString method has a very specific signature that we always have to write. It's public string, because we're passing along characters, and the method name is toString. We'll have some quotes, nothing in there. Since this isn't a void, we want to return something. And what we can do is return whatever we want. Some text, some parameters, some numbers, useful information about our object. Keep in mind again, the method signature is always the same, public string toString. The return is what's different. Well, what's that look like? Let's go to our dessert class. Let's come down here and write our toString method, toString. And the method signature is going to be public string with a capital S, toString, our parentheses, and some curly cues. In here, we want to return something. So we're going to use the return keyword, and we want a semicolon afterwards. Now, what do we want to put in there? We have instance variables of flavor and price. Probably good to put those in. I'm going to say flavor, and then we're going to concatenate, and we'll put in our private instance variable from above. Since we're in the class, we can call it flavor. Let's get our price, and we'll concatenate. And instead of putting this all in one line, let's put it on separate lines. We can't do a second return. What we can use is some of our escape characters. We have 3 that we really use in Java. One is the /n, and just keep in mind that is the / above your enter key. There is how to get a slash and how to get quotes. For this one, I think I'm going to use the next line. Also, the return line escape sequence is it always has to be in quotes. You can't put /n outside the quotes. It always has to be in it. So /n, I'll do a price, a space. Probably should put my colon in there too. Concatenate again, and we just want the price. Now, when I go over here, instantiate an object, we'll say dessert. We'll call this roads1 is going to equal a new dessert. And we're going to pass along 2 flavors. We'll say choco and the price $5.99. Now when I want to print this off, go system.out.println. Before, when I would call my object, I would get that gibberish of numbers. Now when I print it, I should get the flavor is choco, the price is $5.99. Well, let's see if we're right. And it is. That's 1 down. Let's take care of our pie. Go down to the bottom. Do our toString method. Method signature is always the same. Public string to string, parentheses, and our curly cues. We're going to return again. And this time, just like with our constructor, we can use super in order to get those values. This one's a little different. We want to tell it what exactly to super. So let's go super. We want to super the toString method in the super class above us, which is dessert. Do not forget your parentheses because this is a method. I'm going to go plus, and let's do an escape sequence again. I'm going to do my /n, and I'm going to go a diameter. Maybe try spelling it right. And we'll concatenate over and say diameter and my semicolon. Now I should get my flavor and price just like I'm getting my super up here for my constructor. I'm going to get those two and my diameter. Let's go back to food truck runner. Let's instantiate an object here, and we're going to go pi. We'll call this roads 2. This equals a new pi. And this time we'll pass along pumpkin. The cost will be $5.99. The diameter, we'll go with 8 inches. Now when we print off our object, we should get these 3 values to print off. So we want to print off roads 2 now. When I hit run, I should get these 3 values to print off. Let's do a couple dashed lines so we can tell this from our one above. Do some quotes and a bunch of dashes so we know where we're at. Let's go ahead and hit run. And there you go. I got my flavor for my dessert and for my pie class. I am noticing my f is a lowercase. And if we come down here and change that, capital F, it should also change it for our pie object. Let's see if that's right. And it is. Pretty helpful and a good reason why we use the super keyword. Couple key takeaways from this lesson. First is understanding what overriding is, and that is defining a method in a subclass with the same method signature as the method inherited from the superclass. So we're using the method signature. The one we use today is toString. This is actually inherited from the super object class. This is above all classes. Usually the toString method returns to us an actual physical location on our hard drive. That funny sequence of characters is an actual location. We can override that method to return something that is more useful to us. In this case, it was what our instance variables were. How do we write the toString method? It is the public keyword, string with the capital S, and the method name is always the same, toString. Don't forget your parentheses and semicolon. Inside the semicolon, since it's not a void, we're going to return, and we just tell it what we would like to return. That easy. The last thing we talked about was our escape sequences, and the 3 big ones are these ones up here. The /n is a new line, / with a quote is a double quote, and the 2 /s give us a backslash. These are very helpful when we want to format our console. Hopefully this video helped you understand how to print objects a little better. As always, kids, if you have any questions, come see me. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. See you later, kids. Bye. Bye.